Hi, thanks so much for looking in. I hope you are having a good day today. Hope you're having a great life, really. I'm having a pretty good day. Thanks for asking. So let's get into today's video, which is going to be this week's tarot for the star signs. We're going to do 3 tarot cards for each sign from, let me hold it up, the Starman Tarot. One of my favourite decks, this. I really enjoy the artwork in it. It's crazy artwork, it's not that easy to read, but if you were watching yesterday's, I used a nice kind of plain deck, and I just couldn't get the cards to show up. I had to really mess around with the lighting, and you know, it still didn't really work, and I looked like death warmed up, I think, so I'm sorry about that one. Anyway, do hit that subscribe button, guys, because it helps the channel no end, and there are more readings coming all the time. So we'll do 3 cards for each star sign from the Starman, and we're going to use this one as well, Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light. And before we get stuck into Aries proper, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to have a quick shuffle, and we'll actually start this time. Always trying to find new ways of doing things. We'll start this one with an oracle card, actually. I think that's probably a pretty good way to do it. And then we'll see what the tarot has to say. This is a pick a card reading, okay? There'll be a pick a card reading for each star sign, and so you can either kind of pick the oracle card, pick one of the tarot cards, or pick the whole lot. It's entirely up to you. So first card out. And this is for the sign of Aries. So here we go, let's get stuck in. Magic manifesting, and this is Isis. Really, really strong, powerful cosmic energy here. Your dreams, visions and goals are becoming reality, so stay focused. Okay, that's the first card we've got out for the sign of Aries. So let's see what the Starman Tarot has to say about that. So we'll pull out 1, 2, 3 cards. So you're going to pick... Let's get them all sorted out. You're going to pick card number 1, card number 2 or card number 3. The choice is entirely yours. Card number 1 is the 7 of Swords. Wonderful magic number, actually, to go with magic manifesting there. 7 is a great number. Nowhere near completion yet, but you know, things are going pretty well when you get to a 7. Quite a tricky card though, because this is all about sort of mental effort going on. There's a lot of mental kind of processing of a situation going on when you get this card, and sometimes the best thing to do is just kind of keep moving, because we don't always know what the answers are supposed to be, but that's no good reason to actually stop the progress happening, because as the first card said there with Isis, magic is actually manifesting. So either get the decision made, cut and dried, or just kind of guess, you know. It's okay to make mistakes. That is an absolute fact. Okay, so that's card number 1 for Aries, 7 of Swords. Card number 2 for Aries, 8 of Pentacles. It's this one. Let me take a closer look at it. Lots of turquoise in this card. Now, actually, lots of just about every colour of the rainbow here. And a lot of it going on above, a lot of it going on below. And that is the significance of the number 8. Always, of course, as above, so below. It's the number of infinity, of eternity, not eternity, of eternity, which is kind of the opposite of being interned, isn't it? This is great freedom showing here. Again, magic manifesting like we had from the Isis card at the beginning, but this is really showing how the magic manifests, actually, because sometimes, you know, we think we've done all the work, we think, you know, we've put everything into this, and so we've made this thing happen, and of course we have to do that. That's our end of the bargain, but nothing magical really happens without the influences of the higher realms, the angels, the archangels, your higher self. It's all in the mix, you know. All those out there things are all a part of you. So that's the 8 of Pentacles. Lots and lots of abundance indicated here, and another really magic number. So that's 2 magic numbers so far for the sign of Aries. Did you pick card number 3 or did you pick all of them and the Isis card as well? That was up to you. Let's see what we've got. 3 of Pentacles. Oh, really. So we're taking a bit of a step back, but it's still about magic, it's still about abundance, and this really has everything to do with the fact that you're putting the work in now. And if you pick this card, I'm sure you'll find that you've been putting the work in. Maybe things haven't actually turned out the way you wanted them to, but you've got to kind of go with the flow, really. You never know what's coming down the pike, but something is, because there's great abundance indicated here. Okay, that's the first 3 cards for the sign of Aries. Where did I put my drink? It's over there. Never mind, I'll have a drink later. Okay, so now we move on to the sign of Taurus. Let's see what we've got for Taurus. Same deal again. It's going to be the same for all the signs. We'll do an oracle card to begin with, and then we'll do 3 tarot cards from the Starman Tarot and see where we get. So pulling out a card from Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light, which is a fantastic deck. We have got for Taurus Melchizedek. It's Melchizedek, really. It's easy for me to say that because I live in Wales, where C and H together is actually one letter, so I'm used to saying it. Melchizedek. Higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. Now here's the thing, Tauruses. More inner study. It's about kind of, internalising things. It's the best way to really learn them. I was explaining to one of my daughters the other day, because she's learning to drive and she's got certain fears around it, and I was telling her that, the big problem with a lot of people is that with modern car design, very few people have accidents. Most people don't have more than 1 or 2 minor scrapes in their whole driving career. Quite a lot of people have no accidents at all. That's only because cars have been designed safer and we've learned to drive better. I was in quite a big smash in my younger day, and that's made me very much more careful than a lot of people. So, I've internalised that. I know that. Explaining that to my daughter, who's never had a smash, is a different kettle of fish, but I hope it's given us some reassurance, and I hope this card, Taurus, gives you some reassurance. Higher learning. You have learned from experience, Taurus. It's just saying more inner study is now required to further progress, and that's inner study. Okay, that's almost doing the hermit thing. In fact, I wouldn't be a million tons of surprise would not suddenly land on me if we get the hermit card now as I shuffle. But we'll pull out the 3 tarot cards for the sign of Taurus. What we're going to do: 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what have we got here? Let me just see. Okay, so there's card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. Are you going to pick 1 or 2 of those, all 3, or all 3 and the oracle card, eh? It's entirely up to you. And this is for the sign of Gemini. So we've got number 2. No, it's not. It's for the sign of Taurus. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Number 2 from the Major Arcana, kicking it off. This is actually... Card number 1 is card number 2, if you know what I'm saying, and it's the High Priestess. So there's a journey to be had here for sure. Now there is always actually a journey going on in life, so this isn't really news, especially for Taurians, who very compassionate people, but they tend to be, there's something go-getter-y. So, can he be go-getter-y? Something go-getter-ish, anyway, about the sign of Taurus, and certainly about this card. It's an unknown journey. It's a spiritual journey, but again, everything in life is actually a spiritual journey. That's the great thing. If you're drawn to actually look at tarot cards, if you're drawn to look at tarot readings or read the oracle yourself, whatever, if you use crystals, any of those things are an acknowledgement and show that you understand the value of magic in one way or another as you actually go through your life, because again, it's as above so below. We haven't got the figure of 8 here, but we have got a High Priestess, which is showing that pretty strongly. So again, to go back to that Melchizedek card, inner processing, that's what you're really going to need, because all you've got to find within yourself is the courage to take this journey. Trying to know what the journey is kind of pointless at this stage of the game, Taurus. Okay, you're just going to have to kind of keep your thinking head on, keep going that way. Card number 2 for Taurus is Major Arcana again, and this time it's number 12. It's the Hanged Man. This one's coming up a lot at the moment, actually, and you know, you'd think after Inauguration Day things would be going forward a bit more, and that is having its effect all over the world, of course, but not necessarily so, and not so if you pick this card, Taurus. There's some hanging around going on. That's sometimes no bad thing. Sometimes it's best not to take any action until you know the shot, but you drew this card, you know what's going on in your life, and how do you actually feel about the situation? That's the question. You know, if you know enough, do make a move. Don't hang around forever. But if you feel you want to know more, well, these things go in cycles, and I'm sure life will bring you another chance to do whatever it is that lies ahead of you. But the Hanged Man says, for some reason you're putting it off. It's up to you to decide, is that a good reason, is that a bad reason? And again with the Hanged Man, there's a little bit of that Hermit there, going back to the Melchizedek Oracle card from Kyle Gray there. Some more sort of inner processing is required before you really know the shot and you really know where you're going with it. So that is card number 2 for Taurus. For Taurus, for number 3, we've got this one. If you picked number 3, it's the Prince of Cups. So this is great. This is about longings and desires, and this is kind of at the end of the cups suit where you start actually getting a prediction that somehow, some way, you're going to get what you want, either out of life or out of the situation that you're dealing with at the moment. And when I look at this, right, he's leaning towards the 2 skulls there, and they're making me think of those crystal skulls that had to be discovered before certain cosmic things could start happening on Earth. Excuse the focus going back and forth there. I hope this video's okay when I look back at it. I'm using a camera that hasn't got a flip screen, so I'm just kind of guessing that everything's in shot at the moment. I'm learning this camera. But this is it, you know, that's actually again making me think of Melchizedek and inner learning, and the prince here is leaning over towards the 2 skulls as if not sure whether to take what he wants or not, but he's reaching out for it anyway. Okay, and this is a court card. This is quite high energy, so reach out and take it, Taurus. Okay, that's the 3 for Taurus. We are going to move on. I'm now going to do 3 cards for the sign of Gemini. There we go. And actually 4 3 tarot cards and 1 from the amazing Kyle Gray deck, Keepers of the Light, which is such a great deck to be using. And here we've got Archangel Michael for Gemini, okay, trusting heaven. And Geminis are great at looking out there, really kind of thinking outside the box. Geminis really have that ability, a bit like Aquarius actually, only it is a bit more multifaceted with you guys, Gemini. So trusting heaven, it says, you are safe. Angels, stand close, surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. So think of that in the context of whichever of the next cards you're going to choose, or you know, if you're going to choose all 3, in the context of all 3. Oh dear, I'm dropping stuff all over the place. I'm a very, very clumsy reader. It's amazing I haven't dropped a deck yet. Touch wood, I hope I don't drop this one. Cool. I bet you've all been there, guys. I bet you've all tried to shuffle cards and maybe got really good at it, and sometimes it's just whoa all over the place, nothing you can do about it, and you just got to keep picking them up and trying again. At least it gives them a good wash, doesn't it, when you spill them on the floor? That's one good thing. Okay, so there's card number 1, card number 2 and card number 3 for the sign of Gemini. And of course Archangel Michael, trusting heaven is what it's all about. Are you, Geminis, going to go with card number 1, card number 2 or card number 3? It's entirely up to you. You could pick 2 of those or you could pick all 3. That's the way we roll with this one. Major Arcana for card number 1, it's number 17 and it's the Star. So we're really getting moving through the Major Arcana journey here. Things are really actually happening, and you'll be aware if you chose this card, somewhere in your life something is coming to maturity. You're actually kind of quite a good way along the road yet. Quite a long way along the road now of getting something important to you actually done. And the magic there is kind of manifesting as well, but you do have to lean back on the idea of heaven and ask the angels for help, etc, etc. Whatever you do as a spiritual practice is important at this stage, because you're not there yet. That's the bottom line. But with the Star, it's a good idea to contemplate getting out into nature, actually looking up at the stars if you can see them, them. I'm really, really lucky here because I can look up and see stars at night because I'm in the countryside. But I'm told that even in Los Angeles, which is such a brightly overlit kind of light polluted city, I'm told that even in LA you can see 1 or 2 stars. Someone said 3 stars. I guess that kind of depends how cloudy it is or whatever. But the fact is, that side of nature is always available to us. So look up at the stars, okay? I'm sure you'll be drawn to the star that's most important to you. This lady is standing in water, so there's a definite flow of abundance going on, and that reminds us, also to stay grounded as much as possible, because the more grounded we are, the more we get this lightning stuff coming down from the heavens when we actually reach up, because the answers are up there, not down there, but you must ground down there first to make it happen. That's card number 1 for Gemini. Card number 2 is the Wheel of Fortune. Wow, and this is such a brightly multicolored card. This is an incredible card, actually. Anything at all can happen with the Wheel of Fortune. It's really hard actually to kind of second guess the meanings here, but we must relate it back to Archangel Michael, trusting heaven. Okay, you really can trust heaven, and if you're struggling to get off the Wheel of Fortune, if you're sick of it turning and spinning all the time and you just want to get on with things, then trusting heaven is maybe the missing part of the puzzle. It's up to you to decide that. You've got to be your own psychic with these readings. That's how I roll, because we are all our own psychic. That, my friends, is how it works, I'm sure of it. But the wheel here, it's a very, very cosmic looking wheel. It's different to any Wheel of Fortune I've seen in any deck here. But there's a face looking out at it, okay? And that is really, that's the spirit world, I guess. That's spirit guides. That might even be Archangel Michael looking out at you and saying, you know, have you kind of made whatever adjustments you need to make? Are things happening the way you want them to? Because you don't want to jump off the Wheel of Fortune until you at least feel like you know the shot, okay? But don't keep running forever. Just because you're on that wheel now doesn't mean you're going to be on it forever, but think about moving things forward and not just kind of going round and round in circles. That's card number 2 for Gemini. For Gemini, card number 3 is the 9 of Pentacles. So again, we've got abundance coming up here. Lots of abundance showing through in this week's Star Sign Tarot readings so far, which is great stuff. Let me just take a closer look at the card. Wow, and look, there's a bird on her shoulder up here, and that is really a significant thing, because the bird is kind of, it's making her ask questions, and it shows the cosmic influence, the cosmic side of having to ask yourself questions. Because why would you ask yourself something? You know, you'd think, I mean, if you know, why ask yourself? And that is simply because part of us has the worldly mind, part of us has the subconscious mind, the higher self, where we interact with the angels, where we interact with the divine. And that is actually a bit of a nagging feeling there. Things are going very, very well in terms of abundance when we get the 9 of Pentacles. But have you kind of left someone out of the picture? Because how are you going to feel if you sort of discover that you've left someone behind or something behind? This is an invitation to look back over the progress you've been making and say, am I happy with this? Do I want to go all the way to completion as I am? Or really, should I be incorporating something I've learned in the past, or bringing a friend or some friends with me that I've worked with in the past? Okay, that, my friends, Aries, Taurus and Gemini. There we are. Just turned the camera off and went and got my drink, which I need. There's no great cosmic reason for breaking the video there. It's a very worldly reason. My camera cuts itself off after 23 minutes and 35 seconds. It's done it so many times now. And most of my uploaded videos are kind of between kind of 25 and 30 minutes, so it's kind of just short of when it should be. So I've taken to stopping it every kind of 3 sessions that I do, just, you know, in time to stop it before it hits that barrier, so that I don't lose anything. Because sometimes I post very imperfect looking readings, and it's because I work with spirit guides, and when I've asked them for their advice and they've given me the card and they've given me things to say about it, it seems a real bad thing to just junk the reading. Maybe they mean me to junk that reading. I'm honestly not really sure about that, but what I am sure about is that somehow I'm guided. I'm always trying to listen to that guidance. And I'm often guided by you guys as well, you know, and I really thank you for your comments. Let me know what you think in the comments below, actually. Do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And do visit my coffee page. It's ko-fi.com/Andy's Readings. Okay, there's a link to it down there in the description. You could buy me or buy the channel a coffee if you like. A card has dropped out, so we'll read that one. And there are pictures of my life which occasionally get updated on there, which you can look at too. So ko-fi.com/Andy's Readings. Do hit the subscribe button. Do give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this one, guys. So we're on to the sign of Cancer now. We're going to do a Kyle Gray card first, an oracle card, and this is going to be our kind of significator, and then we'll do 3 tarot cards, and this card is called Hope. And it says, love and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth and choose loving thoughts. Now there is a really important way to go, actually. Choosing loving thoughts always takes you in the right direction one way or another. Because long term, when all our plans come together, you know, we're always working on one plan or another, but it's when we get to the end of life, really, and maybe even when we're in the afterlife and we're looking back on the existence that we've had and what really makes the difference between an existence and a life, that's when it all comes together. And you just got to kind of accept, you know, got to love yourself a bit. You've got to accept that things are just going to go the way they go. There's nothing you can really do about that, except do your best along the way as much as possible. Okay, so with that in mind, let's pull out 3 tarot cards for the sign of Cancer. What have we got? 1, 2, and I'm so ham-fisted, I really am. Okay, 3 cards for the sign of Cancer. So which one are you going to pick, or are you going to pick 2 of them or all 3? It's up to you. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Which one are you drawn to? 5 of Swords is card number 1 here. So lots of thinking going on, actually, but we're just at that kind of point in the journey where things are starting to take off, and this is why it's important to be decisive sometimes, because things do need to kind of actually keep happening once the momentum is there. It's impossible to slow things down and stop things, so you're going to need to be decisive with this one. You might be looking back on the past quite a bit with this card. It's a bit like the other card, which kind of tells you not to be driven by old thoughts, old feelings, you know, feelings of being happy in the past or sad in the past. You've got to let go of those. You've got to cut through them with the 5 of Swords energy. That's card number 1. Card number 2, slightly a step back. It's the 4 of Pentacles, but at least it's a Pentacles card, and it's looking pretty good in that respect, because this is 1 on from the 3 of Pentacles, so you made the steady progress, and you're still making the steady progress when this one comes up. But think about, what do you actually hold in your hand? Look at what the character is holding in his or her hand there. It looks kind of masculine, but you never know, do you? You really never know. But there are 4 clear pentacles there, and the pentacles are all about things coming together. You know, earth, air, fire, water, and the divine, and the angels all coming into the mix, all helping there. And there's, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a kind of a DNA strand. I'll bring it up as close as I dare. There's a kind of a DNA strand going on there. So whatever's going on, it's got to work out with you at a deep level, at almost an emotional level, but really at a DNA level. This is what you're made of, and this is about making abundance fit with you, sit well with you, and that is so important, you know. You've got to kind of make friends with abundance for it to really work with you. That's important. And we're trying to teach people to draw abundance into their lives. One of the first things you've got to teach a lot of people, actually, is to make friends with money. Visualize kind of money as a good thing. It's true, it tends to be the root of all evil, and that is a fact. But that's just the way so many people use money or attempted to use it. You can use it for the good, you really can. It tends to be fabulously rich people who decide to do that a lot of the time. But at the same time, you know, we can all do it. I used to be a busker. I used to have an accordion and I'd be on the street because I didn't have a job and I didn't, you know, I didn't want to not do anything and stay in bed all day. So I took my accordion out and I went busking. And very often it was the least well-off looking people who'd drop a few coins into my hat. So, you know, both ends of the scale, it really works. Money doesn't have to be an evil thing. Make friends with it. Okay, so that's the Four of Pentacles, card number 2. Card number 3 for the sign of Cancer is card number 1, and it's the Starman. And this is essentially the Magician in this deck, okay? It's number 1 in the major arcana. So, this is the beginning of something for you guys, Cancer. Something new is starting for absolute certain. Even if you're in the middle of something, it's going well and you're about to move on to another stage of it. You know, there are stages within stages, there are journeys within journeys, and you have got the tools you need in accordance with the old traditional meanings of what the Magician is all about. So that, my friends, is the sign of Cancer. Oh, and I've spilt. I'm always spilling cards all over the place. Let me just pick those up. I said I might spill a card, didn't I? I was right. I actually did spill a card. So let's take 3 off the top of the deck as it presents itself, because we're moving on to the sign of Leo now. So like all the other cards, like all the other readings, we're going to do an oracle card from Kyle Gray's amazing Keepers of the Light deck, which looks like that. We're going to take out an oracle card first for significance, and then you guys can pick card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. It's up to you. Now for Leo, we've got this one. It's Diana, and it's focused intention, and this is so important with any kind of spiritual work. It's often been said that intent is everything, and it really is. You know, that's how it kind of works in with karma. It's what you're trying to do, what you want to do. As long as you want it for the highest best good for all concerned, and do put that into your meditations and your mantras if you haven't already, that's what really gets the cookie crumbling. That's what really gets things happening. And Diana says, think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome, Leo. And that is a real tall order sometimes. We live in a world that is always kind of whispering in our ear that the things we really want will never, can never happen. But the joy of the spiritual life is you discover that they can, and you discover that the things that seem to be beyond your wildest dreams are actually the things that you're meant to achieve, really. So, Leo, card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. The choice is yours. It's entirely up to you. Card number 1 is the 7 of Pentacles, and there is a slight feeling of loss about this. Actually, the Pentacles are very, very positive in terms of abundance and in terms of things coming together, but we really get the feeling that it's just the way this character is kind of slumped over. It's as if something's got spilled, like the way I spilled tarot cards, and it's not the end of the world by any means, but it's definitely a stop and think moment here. 7, a very magical number. And we can actually see an obelisk crystal thing there, if I bring that up close. Hope that's focused for you. I really do. So, use your crystals. If you drew card number 1 there, Leo, if that's what you chose, use your crystals, okay? It's very strongly indicated here. But, through the magic of the crystals and the pentacles, of course, and just being on that spiritual journey, there is pure gold all around the character here, okay? Now, I know I'm not going with traditional tarot meanings here, but that's the nature of it. I work with spirit guides. I'm essentially a medium. And do watch the lives, guys, and come on the lives if you possibly can. Hit the subscribe button so you can watch the lives, because that way I can actually pull a card for you personally. I can get the pendulum going, I can answer questions, and hopefully even connect with people that you're loving and missing who've gone over to the spirit world, because they stay real forever. They do. Okay, just a little plug for what I do there. But hit the subscribe button, then you'll get notified about the lives, and You'll be able, I can do more for you on a live video than I can do with these. But I know these are working for people because of the way the comments come in. Card number 2 for the sign of Leo is this one. It is, what's that? It's number 8 and it's strength. And is that? Yes, it is. Sorry, the Roman numerals throw me a bit. It's number 8 in this deck, and it's the Strength card. In the traditional view of it, there's a lady who's got her hands in a lion's mouth. This lady is kind of leading the 2 lions along here, and kind of looks like... It looked to me as if she was smoking a cigarette for a moment there, and that's the last thing I want to promote. I'm always trying to stop doing that, but that's... because I don't believe I've got the strength to do it, you see. If I believed in myself more, I would stop smoking. That's the nature of the situation that this card is talking to you about right here, right now, Leo. You're stronger than you think you really are. This lady is not at all bothered by the fact that she's got a lion either side of her. She's not even bothered whether they're lions or tigers. That's how cool she is. Right, card number 3 for the sign of Leo, Ace of Wands. Great, we've got super alchemy coming into this. That's what the aces are all about. It's always alchemical. And this wand, it's appearing in the darkness, but it's surrounded by light. It's just, most of this card is beautiful bright colours, but there is darkness, just a dark ring around the wand. And this is it. This is the power that we find in the darkness. And when things really don't seem to be going anyplace, then they suddenly can. There is always potential there, no matter how hopeless a thing might seem. The wands are all about getting things done. So invoke that for yourself, Leo. Okay, decide, you know, I'm going to have this happen. This is going to work for me. And wave the magic wand of your spiritual intent, and you'll get places then. You really will. Okay, so that is Leo. Let's move on and do the sign of Virgo, and then I'll switch the camera off again just before it switches itself off and start another video so we can keep on moving and keep on going places. Quick drink of my favourite Earl Grey tea here. Do check out coffee.com, ko-fi.com/Andy's Readings. See the pictures on there, and buy me, if you wish, or buy the channel, a coffee. 'Tis always appreciated. Virgo, for you we've got Portia, Lady Portia, Divine Order, and she says, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. And healing is absolutely oozing out of this card. This is all about that beautiful divine healing energy. It really is. If you do the violet flame, this is telling you, go ahead and do it, okay? Get to know Saint Germain, the master of the 9th ray, which is the violet ray of beautiful healing, transformational energy. You can change things, and it's by doing what you feel is right, as she says. An important lesson is unfolding, and it's all part of the divine order of things. You know, we sometimes think, why the hell is this happening? You know, why is life suddenly gone this way? And it's just the universe trying to balance itself, you know. And the more spiritually aware you become, the more aware we become of things that don't seem to make any sense of it on the face of it to us. Sorry, I hesitated because I dropped a card. We must be meant to read that card, actually, so we'll go ahead and read it. Let's pull out 2 more. Okay, so 3 tarot cards now to go with that Lady Portia Divine Order Oracle card from Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light. We're in the Starman Tarot now by David De Angelis. I think his name's David, but he's kind of put an E on the end, so it's David or Davide or something. But there we are. Starman Tarot. This is for the sign of Virgo. You're going to pick card 1, card 2, card 3, 1 and 2. Oh no, 1 and 3, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, all 3 of them. It's entirely up to you. Be your own psychic. Okay, Virgo, really go for it. Don't let that Virgo energy make you think, oh, I'd better sort of just wait and see what I'm given. Really kind of take the initiative if you possibly can. Okay, that's a big thing for a lot of Virgos to overcome. Many of you will have already overcome it, I'm sure, actually. And if you're not aware of, you don't know what I'm talking about there, then you have overcome it, so that's good news. 7 of Cups is card number 1. Great stuff. This is actually about magic manifesting in a big way, because we're over halfway through the journey through the cups, which is the journey towards longings, desires, the things that we actually really wish would happen. And no doubt if you've reached this stage and you picked card number 1, you're getting over that thing that we all have to face on the road to manifestation, which is wondering if it should happen, if we actually deserve it, if it's the right thing. This card is saying yes, but there's a way to go yet. See, the character has got his hands raised up here, and he's kind of holding this big Merkaba pattern up in the sky, excuse me, which is like trying to hold the world in his hands. I must just take a drink because I'm getting a little hoarse there. Earl Grey tea, you cannot beat it. Now also, we've got several, it's kind of hard to make out. I bring the card up as close as I dare. I hope that's focused for you. You can see like little number 10 symbols there, well, X symbols, which are the number 10 in Roman numerals. So that is saying, you know, things are actually coming up to completion. You've got to keep the faith of it. But up here is this, it's not just one world, there are many worlds within it, and so you've got to look at all the different aspects of things. But more than anything, have your hands up there, be reaching up, okay, because the things you desire can be real and they can happen. That is card number 1 for Virgo. Card number 2 for Virgo, Prince of Wands, stuff happening in the most positive way there is. Excuse me. And when things really get busy, when the influences really get stuck into your life, things do get done. But as I've said in a previous reading today, actually, when things get done, it's not just you. It is you. It's the effort you've put in, or it wouldn't be happening to you. But the universe is always trying to kind of match the good efforts that you put in to make better things happen. And that is why when you work for the highest good, the result is actually much more than the sum of all the efforts you've put into it, because the universe has joined in. Prince of Wands there, it's court card energy. And if I look closely at this, the prince is holding up a very fiery wand. So things really are getting done. Big style. That's card number 2 for Virgo. For Virgo, card number 3 is, where is it? The 2 of Swords. Here we go. So swords energy again. The idea of cutting through the crap, to be quite honest. And I don't like to cuss on the channel, but I can't think of a better word of putting it, and I don't think that's the worst curse word I've ever come up with or said in my life. But how do you actually feel about things like that? This is all about where you've got to kind of get into the rhythm of life and just keep going with the flow and keep letting things happen. It's really important to see it that way. Right down here we've got the oyster. Can you see it? There's an oyster with a dark coloured, it's almost actually there's a black pearl in the oyster there. So this is about finding truths, finding things you weren't expecting to find out. There are 2 staircases in here as well, and it being the 2 of Swords, it's showing the divine journey actually going in 2 different directions there. But the fact is you can make it. You might feel torn, you might feel cut in half. One half of you wants to stay still, the other half of you wants to get things done. Bring the halves together. That's what you need to be doing in your manifestational efforts going forward. That's the sign of Virgo. I'm going to make a quick break in the video again and just reset the camera so I don't get torn in half. And so we come to the sign of Libra now. So just to recap what we're doing here, I always keep kind of changing the way I do this and trying to find a way people really like it to be done. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please do, my friends. So first of all, we're going to have an oracle card from Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light, and this is for the sign of Libra. And then we'll have 3 tarot cards on a pick a card basis. You can pick just the oracle card, any of the 3 tarot cards, or all 3 of them. It's entirely up to you. Okay, Libra then, first card out for you, and this is from Kyle Gray's amazing Keepers of the Light deck, Sacred Vision, the Miriam. And what does it say? Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. And this is an amazing card, actually. Well, they're all amazing in one way or another, but this means you've got to kind of look at a situation or a person that you're not happy with, that just won't go out of your life, that just won't resolve, that just won't go away, and you've got to try and find the blessings in that. That's how it works. It works for the best, for the highest good. And when you actually give, you know, if you're kind of concerned or upset by this situation or by this person, if you can give it to God, give it to the angels, give it to the divine, then that person will transform before your eyes. Just, you know, if you can't see the good in the person or the situation, just believe there is some, because everything happens for a reason. That's why people are sent into our lives. So that's your oracle card, Libra. Let me pull 3 out of the deck here for the sign of Libra. Come out wherever you are. This is the Starman Tarot by David De Angelis. See, that's one of my favourite decks. Very colourful. Not the easiest one in the world to read, actually, but a very positive deck nevertheless. So Libra, we've got card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. Which one are you drawn to? Or are you drawn to 2 of them? Or are you drawn to all 3? It's entirely up to you. You've got to be your own psychic. That's how I roll. That's what this channel is all about. Because you are your own psychic. That's why I'm telling you, you've got to be your own psychic. Everyone is their own psychic. We all have that sense. The only thing that people who call themselves psychics, as I do, really have is just the fact that we've made a decision that we're going to listen to this stuff. And that's all it is. You know, no one's better than anybody else in this. We just kind of you start making progress when you decide that you're going to be a psychic, or you're going to listen to all the psychic stuff that's going on, because it is a sense that we all have. We really all do. And so first card for Libra, the 6 of Swords. This is what's showing out as card number 1 for the sign of Libra in this week's readings. And right up at the top here, bring it as close as I dare. I hope that's focused for you. This camera's pretty good at focusing. It just cuts off after 23 minutes, which is annoying. So I just have to keep kind of stopping and starting. But yeah, there's this baby up here. And this baby, to me, just as I'm reading this week, and I go with the inspiration that I get through my kind of intuitive senses, rather than traditional meanings from the tarot. This baby up here, that's like your psychic self, and it's up and above, you know, but you're not cut off from it. It's just not in your immediate mind. The character here is fighting this mask, which this mask is blowing out this turquoise flame of truth. So, Libra, are you actually trying to sort of fight the truth? Are you actually, in that desire to see balance, are you actually fighting against something that you just know is the truth, that you know there's no stopping? Worth asking yourself. And this really is a stop and ask yourself card, because the mask we've got here is sort of not making any sense. You know, it's a wacky thing, a wacky kind of situation that's been injected into your life. So you need to kind of make friends with it as best you can. Great lightning coming all the way around the card though, absolutely everywhere. So see that lightning as inspiration. And get that inspiration from your intuition, Libra. Don't fear it, okay? You've got every reason to trust your own intuition. Card number 2 for Libra, it's the Death card. Number 13, Death. Now, not as bad as it sounds. It doesn't mean anyone's going to die. I'm sure you all know that by now, actually. But I just like to put it in case it worries someone who's kind of new to the tarot or whatever. There's no suggestion of anyone dying. Especially if they get a drink of tea now and again. No suggestion of anyone dying, but this means that the world is changing, okay? In fact, this means that the world has already changed. And unless you accept that and just close the door on the past, then the new door that's got to open into the future isn't going to open yet. It's going to take longer, so you might as well shut the door on the past if you pick this card, which is number 2 for Libra this week. If you do, then things change. You see, it is quite a deathly looking card. It's been very well drawn in that sense. There's a certain amount of musicality in the images in it, and there's a lot of art and a lot of beautiful colours here, actually. And the whole situation becomes a lot more beautiful if you can just accept that something from the past has ended. The past ends every night when you go to bed. to be quite honest. You know, every day is a new day. Tomorrow is always the first day of the rest of your life. In fact, today is probably the first day of the rest of your life, actually, Libra. Six of Wands is card number 3 for you guys. The Wands, very earthy, all about getting things done, about making things happen. Six of Wands, there's action going on. It's the Eight of Wands when things become really unstoppable. But I don't think you're going to have much luck if you're trying to stop what's going on now. Six of Wands. Let me take a closer look. Okay, this guy is running forward, and that's what you've got to do really with the Six of Wands. You've got to kind of actually push yourself forward a bit. The universe will help you, no end, no doubt about that whatsoever. But this character is running forward, and that is what is making all the difference. Colours going off everywhere in this card for sure. But can you see, one foot is in water here, and if I bring it right up close, that foot is next to a hand that's reaching out from the water. Now, is that someone who you've got to save, or is that the energy of grounding and of the abundant energy that goes with the flow of water? Is that energy reaching out to you to actually pass that energy on? That's the question. We've got hands reaching up all over this card, actually. So, Six of Wands, you know, reach out and take it. It is yours. Don't be afraid to run forward. And as this guy's doing, point up to the sky. Point your gaze up to the sky and believe it can happen. If you picked all 3, that's a great one to come in after the Death card, actually. So that is this week's Libra reading. Let's get on to the sign of Scorpio now and see what we've got for Scorpio. Okay, I'm going to start with the Kyle Gray card from Keepers of the Light, this fantastic deck, Keepers of the Light, and then we're going to do 3 tarot cards. And you can choose your own tarot card. Be your own psychic, that's what it's all about. But here we go with the significance. It is Dwal Cool, Dharma unfolding. Now, Dharma is a lot like karma, but it's kind of something different. It's, you know, about kind of spiritual choices, I guess, that kind of thing. And that, of course, does play into karma in a big way. And Dwal Cool says, remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. And this is it, folks. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So if by any chance, Scorpio, you feel like you're not getting anywhere, that you know you should be maybe putting more into the journey of life and making more things happen, fear not. You are actually making progress. You've got to have made some just because you're interested in oracle cards, in tarot cards. So don't worry about it, okay? Just take one step at a time. That's what it's all about. So what 3 cards have we got now for the sign of Scorpio? Let's see what we've got for you guys. Okay, are you going to pick card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3? Are you going to pick 2 of them, or Scorpio, are you going to pick all 3? It's entirely up to you. This is card number 1. What's it going to be? It's going to be the King of Pentacles. Great. So abundance, if it hasn't happened yet, it's trying to happen. You just got to kind of let it happen. Believe it can happen. Believe it can be real, okay? Because it really, really can. And that's something we too easily lose sight of in this crazy world of ours. There are so many influences trying to kind of pull us down from our dreams that we want to make happen, and we've just got to keep it so real. But honestly, you know, if you really, really decide that you're going to make whatever move you've got to make to be in the place for that intuition to work, for those things to actually start happening, then great, Scorpio, because you've got the King of Pentacles here. He's up on a ladder, he's on a stone horse. This is actually, it's up there, it's out there, and it is very solid and reliable, the King of Pentacles. He understands abundance, and he also understands that you've got to kind of use the things that abundance brings you. Otherwise, the flow kind of gets stopped, you know. And so don't hoard any energy at this time, Scorpio. Let it go, because more will come. Things are looking pretty good for Scorpio in card number 1. Card number 2, whoa, the Lovers. How bad is that? How good is that? That's entirely up to you to decide. This could be a relationship with, like, you know, a physical relationship, a love relationship, a romantic relationship. But Love in the tarot is about how things come together and how things work together. So it could be anything really. It could be career, it could be getting on better with your children, it could be getting on better with family, or it could be meeting the love of your life, which is no bad thing. And you'll know when it happens. And that's the thing about love. It's number 6 in the major arcana, by the way. And you always know when it happens. So it gets you in touch with whatever you're trying to manifest when you get this card coming out. It's looking good, basically. That is the bottom line with card number 2 for Scorpio. Card number 3 for Scorpio is the 2 of Wands. So you might as well get busy, Scorpio. There's a lot of real positives here. We've got the Lovers, we've got the King of Pentacles, and now we've got the 2 of Wands. Context for this: Joie cool. Let's just remember, like this one that we started with, remember that you're on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. So you're on that path, Scorpio, and you might as well get cracking. Okay, it's early in the Wands journey, but there's no doubt that things are getting done at this point. There's no doubt at all that there is progress to make. But don't forget the big face up in the sky here, the angels, God, however you want to see it. Maybe to you that's your higher self. Nothing wrong with that. We all see these things differently. But think of your higher values, Scorpio. Think of your higher self and think where you want to go with it all. Because you're going somewhere. That's the overall message. You are on a journey and there is no avoiding it. Okie dokie dokie. And of course that brings us to the sign of Sagittarius, and this is where I get a freebie because I am a Sagittarius. Let's turn over a Kyle Gray card for Sagittarius here. Do hit the subscribe button, please. Excuse me if you haven't yet and you're enjoying the video, hit the subscribe button. It really makes a difference to the channel. I don't think people realise what a big difference it makes actually, because I'm sure you've heard of the YouTube algorithm, and that's one of those kind of physical things I've got to get beyond to really manifest things with YouTube. It is working slowly but surely, but do hit that subscribe button because there's always more readings coming all the time. And it also means you get a notification when I go live, and I love working live because then I can pull you a card specifically for you rather than this one, which is going to be for all Sagittarians. I can maybe use the pendulum, maybe we can get answers to questions. There's a certain amount of maybe about it always, whatever I do as a psychic, as a medium. But if you can get onto the live videos, join in with the psychic chat that goes on there, maybe you'll find out something amazing. I really hope so. That's always my intention, and intent is all. Sagittarius, Green Tara, Supreme Protection. Okay, this is for all Saggis watching right now, and then we will get into the tarot cards. We'll do 3 tarot cards from the Starman for the sign of Saggy. But this card is saying you are protected, cords are being cut, move beyond limitation and trust. And that doesn't mean move beyond trust, it means move beyond limitation and trust. You know, there's 2 things you've got to do there. Very positive. Green Tara offers the most amazing protection, actually. She really does. We've got this beautiful, a lot of healing sensation about this. You know, there's flowers all over the place. Flowers in the garden. So, you know, trust, okay? Because when you actually start turning to things like the tarot, then you're getting in touch with the higher realms, with the optimal side of absolutely everything in life and the universe, and it will all work for you. It's a wonderful thing. If you're new to all this psychic stuff, so to speak, then you'll be having an amazing time of it at the moment. If you've been doing it for a long time, you're probably having an amazing time anyway. Excuse me, dropped a card, but you know, it's amazing all the way. That tends to be how it works. So let us draw out 3 cards for the sign of Sagittarius to go with Green Tara there. And remember, you know, Green Tara is the significator for these next 3 cards. But Sagittarius, as you're moving not beyond limitation and as you're trusting, pick a card, or pick 2 of them, or pick all 3. You're going to pick number 1, number 2, or number 3. It's entirely up to you. Number 1, did you pick number 1, friends? It is the 2 of Pentacles. Right, Pentacles energy here, early in the journey. It's only when we get to the number 3 of Pentacles that things are getting really steady and starting to look really secure, actually. But there's going to be work to do, okay, with this card. But the positive side of there being work to do is that that work is going to take you places. That work is going to make things happen. The journey's on, because there is a lot of abundance shows up in the Pentacles, and that abundance comes from all the elements working together: earth, air, fire and water, and the heavenly elements, the divine elements, the spiritual realms, I guess, the angels, your higher self, God, if you see it that way, whatever. That is the top point of the 5 points on the pentagram star that goes with the pentacles, and that's how abundance really comes, is with things working together. So don't rule anything out, Sagittarius, okay? It's very often the things that we think are never going to work that turn out to be the things that actually do work. That's card number 1. Card number 2, it's the Hanged Man. Again, actually, he's come up already in this reading. Yeah, never mind what I was going to say there, it doesn't matter. The Hanged Man is number 12 in the major arcana. He's also the dropped man, because I just dropped him, but there you go, that's how it goes. I'm kind of clumsy like that, but I don't let it stop me. Don't let anything stop you, okay? At the same time, if you've got misgivings, if a thing doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to hang around. Both of those meanings come into the Hanged Man. You know, you could be hanging around when you should be getting things done, or it could be the best thing to hang around to give it time, because the opportunities of life always go in cycles. And so if you miss out this time, that cycle will come around again and things will happen. Sometimes that cycle takes a long time though, and that's why you need to stop and think about this, Sagittarius, okay? Because you guys are great at thinking, and me, because I'm a Saggy, we're great at thinking outside the box, having big ideas, and we tend to spring back from them. We've got that horse-like timidness about us, but we've also got all the energy of the archer and all the thrustingness of the horse, so we can go forward and make it happen if we want to. So only hang around if you're really sure you need to hang around, Sagittarius. Card number 3 for Saggies, major arcana again, it's number 19. It is the Sun. And the Sun is a wonderful positive card. It shows that things are ready to happen. They really are. And this might be more so than you realise. But this lady in the picture really knows what's going on, because she's got a big smile on her face. I'll bring it up as close as I dare. I hope you can see that, and I haven't cut that part of it off. But she's a very happy looking lady, and she's a bit like Shiva. She has got many arms sticking out either side, so she can do many things. A bit like Ganesh as well. You know, Ganesh, the multi-armed elephant god. It's always about yes with Ganesh, and there's a lot of yes in this card, okay? Because this lady down here is connecting to this very similar form of light in the higher realms up above there. And the Sun is all about, it's ready to happen. You've learned what you needed to learn to actually get you on to the next step of your life journey, your spiritual journey, either of those or both together, because they do work together. And if you're thinking it's only the spiritual journey or only the life journey, think again, Sagittarius, because they do work together. These things do absolutely always happen together. So that's 3 cards for Sagittarius. Let me quickly stop the camera and start it again in case it cuts off. Excuse me. I do love a drink of tea. Okay, so let's keep on rolling. We're into the sign of Capricorn now. And as always in this string of readings, I'm doing this by pulling a significatory card from this deck, which is Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light Oracle. Brilliant deck, actually. Wonderful images to use, and wonderful sort of, not just the images and the pictures, but the message and the meaning absolutely sings out of this deck. So for Capricorn, we're going to do this one. This is Master Jesus, and it's forgiveness. Very high energy here. You could say the highest energy there is, and Jesus is saying forgiveness. You are on the path of light, love and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. And father healing, that's a real interesting way of putting it. It's the ability to sort of lean back and kind of make the most of everything that fatherly energy has to offer you. And even if you didn't get on too well with your physical dad in this life, then you know there is a goodness to masculine energy. There is a goodness which we very often don't see too much of in this world in the physical sense. There is that wonderful fatherly energy coming from the universe, backing you up, supporting you and helping you, excuse me, looking away to get the tarot cards, and helping you manifest your dreams, the things you want to make possible. So Capricorn, we're going to do 3 tarot cards now. You can choose 1, 2 and 3, or you can choose all 3. So let's just turn them round without showing you, because you've got to kind of pick the card before you know what it says. You're going to pick card 1, card 2, card 3. Are you going to pick 2 of them? Are you going to pick all of them? Let's find out what card number 1 is. Did you pick card number 1, friends? If you did, and this is for Capricorn, then it's the Prince of Swords. Right, sword energy. This is kind of a bloody card. This guy looks like he's been stabbed half to death. He's still standing though, and that's the thing to keep going to. And that's the thing to do, Capricorn, is, you know, the mindset to have is keep going, don't give up, because this guy is actually standing tall and strong. It's the swords, it's about things you've got to be decisive about. It's a mental kind of battle to make things happen, and that mental battle can equally stop things happening. It's real hard to keep the progress going. And if you picked card number 1, Capricorn, I'm sure you know what I mean. It's never easy to keep that progress going, but this guy is doing it. And there is a bird flying in, which in this deck and in life generally always means something from the higher realms coming in to contact you, to be with you, to actually help you in that journey, in that quest to get forward. Card number 2, Capricorn, is the King of Swords. It's another sword card. So I guess you've got quite a mental battle going on here, Capricorn, whether you picked 1 or 2 or all 3. And I don't know what card number 3 is yet. We will certainly come to it. But this one is the King of Swords. So this is a real mother. In fact, thinking of the significatory oracle card, actually, it's a real father of a question here that you've got to sort out. You've got to get those thoughts in order though. The King of Swords shows that there's some kind of help coming in for you, right? Maybe that's a friend to talk to, maybe that's reading some advice in a book. What's that book you've always been meaning to read, Capricorn? It could help you find the answers. Take a look at it, don't ignore it. All this knowledge is out there for a reason. Whoever or whatever it is, there's advice, you know, and you could take it, you could make the most of it. But because it's the king, I'm going to say also, see it as a flow of events, okay? Don't be stopped by anything. Get over that mental battling if you possibly can. If you can't get over it, put it to one side and just keep going, okay? Because things go in cycles and you will get another opportunity to make whatever it is happen. What is card number 3? I know already. Goodness me, it's the Queen of Swords. And I did drop this deck all over the floor earlier, so it's had a good wash. These 3 sword cards have come out for Capricorn for a reason. Queen of Swords, this is the other side of it, but it's still all about big decisions. Looks like there's quite a lot of mental turmoil going on for you guys at the moment, Capricorn. Tricky one, really tricky one, but don't let it stop you. That's the thing to do, because for an example, just from the last week or so, and if you're watching in the future, I apologise, but this reading is for you now, if you're drawn to it now, that's a fact. But I'm bringing this video out right at the end of Inauguration Week, and Joe Biden has just been sworn in as President of the United States. Now, whether people were in favour of Trump or against Trump, we were all waiting for this moment to, you know, find out what happens when things change, as they were absolutely bound to. There was no stopping the change. A lot of us thought everything was going to be cut and dried. Now, this is Friday when I'm making this video. The inauguration was on Wednesday, and already there are questions that we might not have been expecting, actually. But I think we all know in the back of our mind there's always some questioning going on. There's always some mental work to do. Now, the higher self is indicated in this card, the Queen of Swords, up here. Can you see that? Looks like the camera's trying to focus. I can see it waving about and moving about and trying to focus there. This character looks very kind of crazy, but it's a very, very cosmic character. You know, even if this is a worldly character being represented here, he's got things painted all over his face, which are showing spirituality, and the sort of circles, if I bring it up close, you can see the circular pattern on this guy's face. Very like shamanic Amadeus healing symbols, very like Shoku Rei, the Reiki symbol, actually, which comes in at Reiki 1, so I'm not giving any secrets away there. Take a hint, take the advice of whatever is actually being presented to you at the moment. Sometimes advice comes as advice. In this case, it's more just reading your conditions, reading the world around you, seeing what it's actually telling you. That is for the sign of Capricorn. Okie dokie, we're going to move on now to the sign of Aquarius. If you haven't yet, do visit my coffee page, ko-fi.com/Andy's Readings. There's a link to it in the description below, and you can take a look at some pictures of the crazy world of Andy, which is my name, by the way. I'm Twig, brother, but I'm Andy, really. And you can kind of take a look at where I live and what's going on in my life on the coffee page. You can also buy me or buy the channel a coffee if you so desire. It helps get equipment together, it helps pay the bills, it just helps on all kinds of levels, and it's great to be appreciated, as I'm sure you know. Anyway, moving along, the Shekinah, the sacred self. This is the oracle card from Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light, which I'm bringing out for the sign of Aquarius. We're on to Aquarius now. This is a significator, and then I'll pull out 3 tarot cards for you guys, and you can pick 1, 2, 3, 2 of them, or all 3. It's up to you. The Shekinah as a significator, the sacred self, which she says, unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. So there's an invitation to kind of play with life a bit here, and who knows, we'll see how serious the tarot cards are going to be directing us to get now as we do a shuffle and pull out 3 tarot cards. But that sacred rhythm of life, you know, we do need to dance to it. It might seem like it's kind of getting in the way of the flow of whatever we're trying to manifest, of whatever we're trying to succeed at, but we are meant to dance with life a bit. We are meant to play a bit. Okay, all work and no play, not the way to go. It really isn't. So let's pull out 3 cards. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. Let's see what we've got here. For the sign of Aquarius, beautiful energy goes with Aquarians, I find. They're all, you know, very sort of an outreaching kind of frame of mind you usually get with Aquarian people. And, you know, you need to make the most of that, really, because that's a gift to have in this world. Anyway, Aquarius, are you going to pick card 1, card 2, card 3, all 3 of them? 1 and 3, 1 and 2, 2 and 3. It's entirely up to you. 7 of Swords is the first card out of the box, and the image on this one reminds me of the old magician's trick where they're cutting someone in half. Now, decisions, they can cut you in half actually, because they can slow your journey down, they can stop your journey. But the swords are looking very much like wand-like objects here. So I'm seeing a tie-in with the suit of wands. And I don't always go, in fact I very rarely go with traditional meanings of tarot cards, my friends. As you will have noticed now, no doubt, because I work with spirit guides. And by the way, do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because then you'll get notified when I go live, and then I can pull you a card, do some mediumship for you as well. Maybe get the pendulum out, maybe make things work that way. So this tank is here. What's happening? You've got to smash through the tank. Don't be contained by the tank. And the tank, in this case, for you guys, Aquarius, it's your own kind of concerns about life. Roll with that side of yourself that reaches out, that part of your mind that really does the outreach. Don't let anything stop you. We do get absolutely bamboozled by thoughts. That's always the way. The way to cut through that, there's a lot of turquoise up here in the top of the card. Speak your truth. Allow yourself to think your truth. And that way, Aquarius, you'll be living your truth. Card number 2 for you guys. It's the heart of the matter if you picked all 3. It's the 8 of Cups. So, longings, desires, but the number 8, it's positive. We're a long way through the journey of cups at this point. It's looking pretty good for actually manifesting what your heart desires, for actually making it happen. But you know, there's a lot of decisions going on. This one almost relates to the deck of swords, the suit of swords, sorry, when I look at it, because this person's really scratching their head and trying to find answers, and it doesn't look like those answers are coming terribly easily to this person. But these cups are representing chalices, okay? There's one in a cupboard here, and you've got to kind of open the door. You've got to do some work, really, to get towards what your heart desires. Don't let anything put you off doing that, okay? Because right at the top of the card, we've got this higher heart chakra pink, and there isn't a lot of it in the card, but you know, it's really about being in love with life, really kind of enjoying life as much as you can. And the Eight of Cups says you can do it, because it's the Eight of Eternity. It's showing as above, so below. Things can work out. Things really can. And it's when you think they can't work out that they really can. That's, you know, it's what you really would love to bring into being and don't think is possible. That's the thing to work at. That's what manifestation is all about. And the energy and the strength is there for it to happen. Card number 3 for Aquarius. Number 7. It's the Chariot. Here we go, it's the Chariot from the Major Arcana. Very strong energy, very close to your heart. If you picked card number 3, or if you picked all 3, this is the outcome. It's a journey, of course, as always with the Chariot. It's a spiritual journey. Every deck is different, has its different ways of looking at it. And instead of the traditional sphinxes pulling the Chariot, we've got these rather crazy, sort of earthy, sort of human-faced beaver creatures here. I'm not sure what they are, but this is the mad world of the Starman Tarot, the crazy world that is the Starman Tarot, and it relates very closely to the crazy world that we live in. Shaft of light coming down around you as you drive your chariot forward, Aquarius. So use that far-reaching Aquarian energy to make the most of whatever is being shown to you in this shaft of rather smoky light that's coming down from above, okay? Because the inspiration is always there for you, and in that case it's trying very hard to work for you. So that is Aquarius. Let me take a drink and we'll move on to the sign of Pisces. Do please subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, hit the like button too, that really helps the channel. Both of those really help the algorithm. And take a look at my coffee page, ko-fi.com/Andy's Readings. There you can see all the crazy stuff going on in my life, or at least some of it, you know, photos of the area around my house and the trees, none of which have got leaves on them at the moment, but hey, it's a cycle, you know, that will come, absolutely for sure. And you can buy me, or you can buy the channel a coffee on there, which goes down sweet and really helps. So let's turn over a card, and we're going to do a significatory card from Kyle Gray's amazing Keepers of the Light deck. And then we're going to do 3 cards from the Starman Tarot, okay? And you can pick a card with the tarot card, but whatever's going on, this is for you guys. This is for the sign of Pisces. Kalimar, facing fear. Ooh, right, so we're into an intense one here. It says, major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. That always brings a chance to soar, actually, to really kind of, to rise above it, you know, I guess that's what it's saying, rise above whatever is getting in the way of your spiritual journey and the things that the spiritual realms, the divine, including your higher self, are trying to actually make happen for you. Don't forget to call on the angels, they're always there waiting to make the best of it, you know, and angels are very good at that because they know what the best of it is. That's always kind of hidden from us in this world. We just got to make a decision somehow. Anyway, Pisces, 3 tarot cards from the amazing, the enchanted, the magical Starman Tarot here. Are you going to pick card number 1, card number 2, card number 3, 2 of them, or all 3? It's entirely up to you. Did you pick card number 1, friends? If you did, Pisces, card number 1, it's the King of Wands. Really super action going on here. In fact, super action has gone on things have happened, big changes have actually come in. What do you do with all that energy? Well, when it's the Kings, there's some good advice around. Listen to the people around you, see what actually comes out of conversations you have, because everyone in this world is divinely guided, most especially the people who think they aren't divinely guided, because they've hoarded up all that inspiration and they don't even know it. So listen to the advice that's going on around you and follow out the flow of abundance. Make the most of whatever kind of crazy journey you've been on in recent times. Whatever's changed for the better, make the most of it. Whatever's changed for the worse, learn what you can from that, okay? Because even when things aren't going well, that is a kind of abundance, it really is. Card number 2 for the sign of Pisces, it's the Four of Swords. Okay, so now big mental thinking, big decisions to make, being pulled either way, I would think, with the Four of Swords. It's a good, steady, stable number, the number 4, and in spiritual terms, of course, it's an indication that the angels are on the case. Do listen to the angels and do ask the angels as well. Okay, that's really going to get you forward. That's really going to allow you to make the most of what's happening. And this character is in a state of meditation, but there are those 4 swords there. Sometimes with the 4 of Swords, it's good to take a rest rather than thrusting ahead. You can actually give your problems to the angels and allow the angels to either see things to completion or to keep things on the boil for you, so when you come back from your rest you can get things done. But even though 3 swords are kind of hanging in the air, there is this one at the bottom of the picture here which the character could grab if he or she suddenly needed to defend him or herself or something that's dear to them. So don't fear taking a rest, okay? Sometimes that's the best way to actually do the swords thing and have the mental battle and get things working. If not, well, whatever, it's up to you guys, you know. You've got to kind of, I can't, you know, tell everyone exactly what to do based on a tarot card. Obviously I can't, that's not the nature of life. But heed the advice that's around you, because there always is some. And if it's too busy for you at the moment to actually slow down and stop and listen to what's going on, make a bit of time, okay, for meditation. We all get like 10 minutes or so when we go to bed at night before we actually fall asleep. If you're super busy, you will still have that 5 minutes, that 10 minutes before you fall asleep. Make that a time of meditation and ask the angels. Okay, so card number 3 for the sign of Pisces, it's the Ten of Wands. Lovely card to get, actually. The wands are all about progress, making progress. It's not always easy to do, but when we get the Ten of Wands, a lot has happened. So, as I said in a previous card about the King of Wands, make the most of that journey that you've been on. Make the most of whatever's happened. And if things haven't been going well, and that's been happening, then there is great abundance then there, because you can actually learn from whatever happened. What made all that energy turn out in a way that you didn't like? Think about that, okay? Because you can always turn things around. It's not easy. There's a massive staircase in this card, and when you get to the top of the steps, it doesn't look as if it's going anywhere. But what a vantage point, what a clear view all around you would have, friends, if you stood at the top of that staircase. And that staircase represents all the stuff that's happening, and all the stuff that's happening represents progress, because whatever's going on, even if it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back, you've learned something, you've made progress. That's it for Pisces. So guys, that actually is going to wrap this video up. Thank you very, very much for watching. Do give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this one, and please hit the subscribe button. It makes a massive difference when people subscribe. I always really appreciate it, and it kind of helps me zero in on exactly who I'm doing these readings for, particularly if you also leave me a comment. Links to all good things are down there, including the coffee page, ko-fi.com/Andy's Readings is there. So check that out. Pictures of my life going on and various crazy things, and you know, the seasons and the cats and the chickens, all down there. And you can buy the channel or buy me a coffee if you want to. There's a link there for that too. Leave me a comment though. Always great to share the journey. Have a fantastic time ahead, friends. Thanks again for watching. Take good care of yourselves. Love, light, blessings and peace.